Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This guy right across from me, his name is Tim, and this is Second Legacy. And thank you for stopping by. And from all of us at Second Legacy to all of you watching, happy FAFO Day. You guys don't know what that means? You guys will figure it out, but we're ready. So, what we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to dive into a hodgepodge, a little mixed match of freedom. It's going to start your weekend, right? We're going to send you out for this Friday, and I thank you guys for hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turning that notification bell on. All right, Tim. Listen, it's a big day. It's a big day. FAFO. It's a big day.
Yes, it is.
We're going to talk about
It's a big Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th FAFO. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, I can't say what it means, but you guys can figure it out in the comments down there. Well, we got a lot of things, Tim. We got 3 different topics to touch on. Of course, as always, out of respect for the lineage that you bring from the YouTube life, you get to choose the order, sir, because you obviously are the wise sage. So
let me take a look.
Do you
here.
want to see? Yeah. Let's see. We got some FBI dabbling. We could hit with anti-protesters carrying guns that are councilwomen in New York and arrested.
I like that one.
Or we could.
That's my favorite.
Okay.
It has a great picture.
You know
and
what?
Everything.
It is. It's got images. I'm so excited, people. The Second Legacy. Let's get into this, Mr. Producer. Could you throw up the New York City Council member title from Politico, please? New York City Council member, let's see, Vernikov arrested for gun possession after a rally. She carried a gun counter-protesting a rally for Palestine, and this is in New York, by the way. So, Tim, you know how they like their sensitive places and gun laws and arresting people.
Yes.
But this woman wasn't taking no ish. I mean, at all.
Yeah.
Just saying. Let's show what happens next. So here's the description, and then we'll do the picture.
Okay.
So this is from New York. City council member Ina Vernikov was arrested Friday morning on charges of criminal possession of a firearm after being photographed at a rally with a gun visible in her waist, Tim.
Oh, no. She had a gun. Wait, hold on. She had
Where's the pearls?
A gun.
There it is. Yep. And I bet you, Tim, it was in a threatening manner.
Yeah, that's holstered guns are so threatening.
Yes.
Like I'm threatening my wall over here right now on my right side.
I know.
That's why my wall is armed.
I know. We just try not to talk about it. I get it, but we do. Well, here's the image, Tim, because, I mean, like, this could be an image for a lot of things. This could be an image for, like, a pro-gun thing. This could be an image for the anti-gun thing. So,
do we know anything about this person, this council member?
So, I don't have her voting record, but, I mean, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna take a stab in the dark here, Tim. We're a councilwoman in New York.
Yeah, I mean,
just gonna leave that there.
You would think it would be far left leaning, but her actions would suggest perhaps otherwise.
You never know, unless you know what. A little quick dabble into this. I can do some research if you want to go to the next topic. A little on the fly move.
Yeah, let's see what we can figure out about her. Let's see what else we got here, Mr. Producer. All right, so let's talk about let's give an update to Israel crashes the servers. This would be number 1, Mr. Producer. So, hours after Hamas launched an attack on southern Israel on Saturday, Blavatsky, I don't know how to pronounce that, started several messages. What's that?
Did you say Lebowski?
No, Blazowski.
Blazowski. Yeah. Blazowski. Come on, guy.
Come on.
We have one.
I speak America. That's all I know. Anyway, so and started several messaging groups for Israelis in support of loosening restrictions for personal firearms. An online petition he created garnered 8,000 signatures in 24 hours, the outlet reported. A separate online petition, which calls on the Israeli government to grant a permit to carry a private weapon for anyone who has served in the IDF and has no criminal record, has gathered close to 22,000 digital signatures in 3 days as I stumble over my words. So here we see Israel doing what we in the Second Amendment community in the United States have been saying all along. Stop disarming the population because you set yourself up for failure, not only from crime, but also from invasion and any other reason you might want to defend yourself or your nation. And so we live in a very unstable world, folks, in case you haven't been watching the news for the last couple of years. And it doesn't seem like things are stabilizing. It seems like things are becoming less stable. And so when governments want to disarm you while you're in the midst of all this turmoil globally, you might want to stop and ask yourself a question. Why is that? If you support gun control and gun bans and things like that, take a look at the world around you, then come back and tell me how you justify disarming people. But the Israelis found out the hard way yet again that unarmed populations fall victim to people that want to do ill will.
That is true. And Tim, something that I think is crucial, not only of 22,000 people, by the way, I got the stuff you wanted.
Okay, cool.
This one. So not only have 22,000 people signed digitally in 3 days, so many people applied. Mr. Producer, could you throw the tweet out from Gun Owners of America? They crashed the servers.
Oh, you know what? I bet they hired the same group that did the Obamacare servers.
Oh, don't you say it. Oh, my gosh. I knew you were going to say the healthcare debacle. You are just incredulous. I knew you were going to say it. I knew it.
I had to.
Man, terrible. Well, but Tim, you know what? While that is a very valid point, very valid, there's something really key that I want to see here in the message. So keep in mind, there's an active war going on. Civilians being targeted. They're crashing the servers because they want their gun rights because they're still behind gun control. And the answer is, we apologize for the inconvenience.
Yeah, we're sorry. We said it could take a week during the invasion.
I don't think that really quite covers it. It's an inconvenience. I think is kind of like inconvenience might be like, oh, the lights are out on the highway, so you're going to be a little bit more traffic. You can't get the permitting process from the laws that we've applied to you because the website is down because you crashed the servers because so many of you want your rights.
While our country's being invaded and thousands of our people are dying.
Yeah. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. That just doesn't cut the mustard. Hey, I don't know. For me, that
just levy a new tax. That fixes everything, right?
You are a genius.
Maybe these servers were manufactured by Dominion.
Quack, 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 quack. Can't say that one. All right. So, Tim, are you ready for the information? I have the requested info.
Let's find out more about this woman, shall we?
For Inna Vernikov. All right. To my dismay, no, not dismay, to my pleasure, she's actually a Republican. We got a little New York version of Lauren Boebert here.
I had that feeling, dude. I was hoping that was the case. So look at that.
Oh, yeah. And I've got you. I got some more data. This is coming from Ballotpedia. Okay. So she is a Republican Party. She's a member of the New York City Council, serving District 48. Let's see. She assumed office on the January 1st, 2022. She was up for election coming up pretty soon. And she took the election with 71% in the Republican primary. So she's the clear favorite. And she's now been arrested sticking her thumb in the eye of Palestinian protest.
She had a permit, right? Or did she just go out there and just said, because I would seriously
expect she'd have a permit. It doesn't say it on Ballotpedia.
Yeah, a politician, New York has goofy laws, but you can get permits to carry. You would think a politician would qualify, but she is a Republican. So you know how they play those games in highly politicized environments like New York City. I would imagine if she were far left leaning and were on the other side of the demonstrating for Palestine, there's a good chance she may not have been arrested. She might have been pulled aside and suggested that maybe she cover her gun up or put it back in the car.
More breaking news. More breaking right now.
Okay.
Just found it. Okay. She is a Republican and she does have a concealed carry license.
Okay.
But she was near a protest.
Oh, it's a safe place. It's one of those sensitive areas.
Yeah.
You can't defend yourself when you have hostiles actually globbing together in a street, Yeah.
Well, it turns out this is a little more of the wrinkle of the story here. Vernikov is Jewish and has been vocal in support of Israel while claiming the rally would make the campuses unsafe. So she strapped on her concealed carry, put it in her appendix carry, and looked quite fashionable while doing it. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, quite fashionable. And then got arrested because Palestinians felt that.
And she's being charged with showing up to a protest with a gun.
It's criminal possession of a firearm in a sensitive location is a Class E felony. Hey, you know what GOA needs to do? GOA or some other group needs to talk to her because she's got notoriety, and they need to make that the plaintiff. That is so delicious.
Yeah. Well, she may actually be that person. Yeah, that's crazy. Ooh. Maybe they need to start a GoFundMe. Well, they'll take that down. What's the other one?
No, you can't do that. Yeah. Give, Send, Go.
Give, Send, Go
is the one you can do.
That's the one we can do. Maybe somebody needs to create a Give, Send, Goes to donate to her legal defense.
Yeah,
It would
no,
be
I mean,
cool
like,
to
I
see
gotta be
GOA
honest.
get involved. I'll send a note, see what they say.
It would. I'll pass it along.
I'll pass it along.
Um, just the last thing I'll say on her stance here. If I was looking at this picture and this was, on a story or a cause that the left supported, the verbiage would be Councilwoman stands defiant and firm of oppression.
Yes, like I
But
said, if
since
she were on
it's
the
on
other
the
side
other
of the picket line, she would be hailed as some sort of a hero.
Right. Right.
Just wrap
But
her in
whatever.
a Soviet era flag and clad her in black with a backpack like Antifa and stick her on the other side with guns bristling, and they'll be like, oh yeah, look, it's just somebody exercising their rights. Oh wait, you have an R in front of your name and you're on the other side of the line? Oh man, get her. E-felony for you.
You know as well as I do that Antifa is just an idea. Our president told us
It's just an idea.
They're not people. They don't have uniforms, or they're not clad. They don't wear balaclavas. Is how you say that word? I've always struggled with that word. Balaclava, the whole mask and thing. Anyway,
Sorry, yeah. Baklava, I think it's a dessert.
It's not baklava. No, baklava.
Baklava
is a dessert.
Yeah. I speak American, dude. I don't pronounce.
Oh, that's there. It is
I
again.
mispronounce everything. It's what Americans do.
It's so bad. Well, speaking of Americans and what we do, let's round out with our last story. How was that for a transition?
That was a great segue there.
I know. I was pretty.
It's almost
good,
like you're a
good.
professional or something.
Oh my goodness, it's like we do it. So, Mr. Producer, can you throw up the FBI? Because this, Tim, I'm just going to say it, a precursor to the story. If this ends up occurring like this, it's going to be the sweetest honey of delicious ever. Let's get it. So, the FBI says it can't conduct gun permit background checks for Measure 114, even if the law survives legal challenges. Now, Measure 114, for the people of Second Legacy, is out of, excuse me, Oregon. And Oregon passed Measure 114, and it's basically permitting to purchase. It's required training, fees, fines, all this kind of stuff. Lots of not great things. They couch it as the ballot measure that is the firmest, most aggressive gun control in the nation, or gun safety measures in the nation. Well, the FBI is kind of going, not sure I can quite do this. Not sure. Here's what they're saying, and I think this is funny and this is interesting. The next clip, Mr. Producer. But even if the judge decides that Measure 114 is constitutional because it's been smoked so far in state court, it could still be in trouble. It isn't a matter of appeals, which seem an inevitability no matter how he rules, but because a key component of the law could fall flat on its face even if allowed to take effect. Measure 114 requires that the FBI background check as part of the permit to purchase process for prospective gun owners. Ooh, that was a word salad. But the word on the street is the FBI isn't playing ball. Now, Tim, why would the FBI not be playing ball? Because that NICS runs through the FBI, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's NICS' claim to fame, right? They supply this data to any law enforcement agency that requests it and stuff like that. But
law enforcement,
I think there's a bit of a restriction there on who they can share that information with.
It's almost like the safeguards that are still not enough safeguards, in my opinion. By the way, I'll just throw that out there. But the safeguards that they put in place seem to be kicking this ballot measure right in the teeth. Turns out that a bunch of civilians writing gun control law isn't a good idea, Oregon. Well, here's what they're doing. This is the big problem, Tim. That little word, designee, is a big problem for the FBI. We can't define the word designee because the only agencies that we are allowed to share our criminal investigative background information with, in fact, state and local government agencies. Generally speaking, that's law enforcement agencies, but it could be other government agencies. But in this case, the word designee is an issue. Could that be a private party? And this is where I found it so fascinating. So the FBI says, we're totally good to share information, whatever you want, with government and state entities, but the law is written where private entities would get it. Does that ring any bells to you, Tim? Any bells about private entities getting gun owner information?
Yeah, there is something that happened this year. What was that?
Mm-hmm. California, good setup, Tim.
California, yes.
Mr. Rob Bonta with the leak of all the ownership details and where the guns are, who has them, what the serial numbers are, and the addresses to a private firm, and it was through UC Berkeley, I believe.
And according to Governor Hairgel, it's the most free state in the country.
It is. It is.
It
is the most free.
Just pay your 99% taxes and surrender your rights at the border, and you can live in freedom over here. So if you live long enough,
If you do. Yeah, there's that, of course. But, I find this fascinating, Tim, because how's it allowed in California versus being not allowed in Oregon ballot measure 114? Because this is where the wrinkle occurs, right? In California, that was passed by the state legislature.
Mhm.
Now, it's not okay, but it was still passed by the state legislature. Sharing of information between public and private entities, which we've been pretty against across the board. But now Portland, they want federal government to share with private entities, and that, my friend, is a no-no.
Mm-hmm. Yep. At least now. But it all hinges on that single word. But here's the funny part, if you find humor in this. It was a ballot measure, which means they put it to the vote of the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the people decided by a slim majority that they wanted this ballot measure. Mm-hmm. Okay, this wasn't done legislatively. And
correct.
For them to correct this, I believe we talked about this pre-show, they have to take that one word out of the bill and then vote on it again. Now, it's
if a ballot measure, yes,
right.
If a ballot measure.
And so it's just one of those things where, look, everybody likes to talk about, you hear our politicians talking about our democracy. You hear talking heads on Twitter talking about our democracy. Folks, we do not have a democracy. We have checks and balances. We have a republic where we elect representatives. So when things do pass legislatively, that, there's checks and balances to it. Now, with the ballot measure, you kind of go around that legislative process, but we still have the courts. So a simple majority cannot violate another group's rights. And that's why we don't have a democracy, because a simple majority vote rules. One vote and the other side will carry that majority of one vote. Now they can take the rights away from people with blue hair, right? So that's why we don't have a democracy. We have a republic. And this is an example of that, at least in some degree.
I think that famous analogy is democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
That's right. That's exactly what a democracy is. There is not a democracy on the face of the planet. It wouldn't work, right? It just wouldn't work.
Not a pure one.
Right, not a pure one. Right. No. And so do we have elements of a democracy within our republic? Of course, we vote. But that doesn't, they're not synonymous. Now, you have people that are out there trying to rewrite definitions, so democracy and republic are synonymous, but they're two distinctly different types of government. One that actually exists and one that doesn't. And so, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about my little democracy rant, but it drives me nuts when I hear all these talking heads talking about our democracy.
Listen, I come here for the Tim rants. That's actually why I'm here.
Okay.
For the Tim rants. Just want to let you know.
Okay.
So, Mr. Producer, I know you can't respond, but I have a challenge for you. If you can rip out the background on this councilwoman and get her as just like by herself, standing there, like being all stoic and for her rights, I'd be down. If you can do it, that's a challenge for you, because that'd be great. But yeah, so I Tim, I think that was a good potluck. We got Israel crashing servers for gun rights, and then sorry for inconvenience. We've got New York City council members standing up with aggressively holstered weapons, and then we have the FBI saying, "Nah, boo, it ain't going to work out for Measure 114." That is a delicious Friday.
It's a great way to wrap up the week. Yes, but everybody
to wrap up
the week. That's all, folks.
Cardi,
do the Looney Tunes.
Cardi B over here.
Mr. Producer, now do the Looney Tunes outro. That's all, folks.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Cardi B over here.
And I don't even drink, but I need to. All right, folks. Be safe out there. We are in the middle of the FAFO day today, Friday the 13th. But share the good word of the Second Legacy with your friends, family, and coworkers. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.